The city behind the veil of rain. It rained for the third day in a row. The downpour seemed endless, tightening the sky with a grey veil and hiding the world behind a water curtain. The road stretched like a deserted ribbon, and only the rare lights of the headlights of oncoming cars reminded me that there was still life somewhere. Emily Sanders, a 27-year-old photographer from Chicago, was traveling on the highway to Lawrence Falls. Its editor sent a strange task, to make a report about this place, which seemed to fall out of the maps and was rarely mentioned even in the navigators. They said that something unusual was happening there, but no one could explain what exactly. The downpour intensified. When the arrow of the tank approached 0, Emily noticed the road sign, Lawrence Falls 5 miles. Soon after the turn, silhouettes of houses were emerged in the rain wall. The city greeted her with silence. No cars on the streets, no passers-by. The lanterns were dimly burning, their light broke in the streams of rain, and it seemed that the air itself was heavier here than in the rest of the world. She parked the car at the River Inn. At the reception desk, she was met by a middle-aged woman with a pale face and a tired look. "Good evening," Emily said. "Do you have any rooms available?" "There is always for you," the woman replied deftly, as if repeating a long memorized phrase. The key was old brass, with the number 6. Going up to the room, Emily heard the rain outside the window again. He was hitting the glass with such force as if he wanted to get inside. She couldn't sleep that night. The walls of the hotel seemed to be whispering, and someone was walking along the corridor outside the door. Around 3 in the morning, she came to the window and saw something strange. A group of people were standing on the street, in the middle of an empty square. All in long black raincoats, motionless like statues. She grabbed the camera and took a picture. But when I checked the screen, there was only an empty area in the photo, flooded with rain. Not a single person. The next day, Emily decided to explore the city. The shops were open, but there were no customers. The sellers looked at her with long glances, but hardly spoke. They seemed to be waiting for something. In the bookstore, the old man handed her a shabby volume. "You're not from here," he said in a hoarse voice. "Then you need to know." The book was untitled, with yellow pages. On the first one it was written, "Lawrence Falls is a city hidden behind a veil of rain. Everyone who enters here hears the call. But not everyone goes back. When the rain stops, the city disappears." Emily felt a chill run through her skin. At night, she saw people on the square again. There are more of them. They stood, raising their faces to the sky, and repeating something in a whisper. Through the sound of rain, she managed to catch only one word. "Return." She took a step back and ran into someone right in the corridor of the hotel. He was a man of about 35 tall, with dark hair and deep eyes. "You'd better leave," he said. "The veil will fall soon. And then Lawrence Falls will demand its price." Emily wanted to ask what he meant, but the man had already disappeared, as if he had disappeared into thin air. She was left alone, and the rain was hitting the glass stronger than before. And for the first time she had a feeling that the city doesn't just live in the rain, it breathes it. The next morning the rain didn't stop, but it changed. It became thinner, like a curtain through which an unusual light broke through. The city looked even quieter than before. People hardly left their homes, the streets were empty, and there was a feeling of expectation in the air. Emily couldn't find a place for herself. She was haunted by the image of people on the square and the words of a mysterious man. She opened the book again that the old man gave her in the shop. On the last pages it was written, "When the rain stops, the city reveals its true face. The square is filled with those who once remained behind the veil. They come back for new souls so that the city can continue to exist." Emily felt how everything got cold inside. In the evening, she went to the square again. The rain was getting weaker, as if someone was turning an invisible tap. People in black raincoats stood in a dense circle. Now she heard their words clearly. "Return. Return. Return." And at that moment the rain stopped. Silence covered the city, loud ringing. The air became thick, motionless. And then new figures appeared on the square. They came straight out of the air, as if from a torn film. Their faces were gray, transparent, like reflections in water. But the eyes are alive. Emily saw despair, pain and supplication in everyone. They stretched out their hands to the standing people, and they, without resisting, fell to meet them. Merged with them, disappeared in their cold arms. "They're taking those who couldn't leave," a voice came from behind. Emily turned around. That man was standing in front of her again. "This city lives on the border of two worlds," he said. "The truth is hidden behind the rain. When the veil falls, Lawrence Falls demands new residents so as not to disappear. And those who come here become part of it." Emily was stem-bled. "Why me?" "Because you came in when the rain was full. You're already a part of this city." Suddenly, the crowd turned to her. Dozens of eyes, alive and dead, rushed right at her. The whisper became a single voice. "Stay." She ran. The streets stretched endlessly. Every turn brought her back to the square. The city was closing in a circle, not letting her go. The houses were changing places, the lights were flashing, the road was disappearing in the void. On the last hope, she rushed to the car. The door opened, the engine started the first time, as if the city itself allowed it. The wheels roared on the wet asphalt, and she drove away. Behind, in the rearview mirror, she saw the city dissolving. The lanterns go out, the houses become transparent, the streets turn into a rainy haze. And when the first drop of rain fell on the glass again, Lawrence Falls disappeared completely. Emily stopped only on the track, where the sky was clear. Turning on the camera, she checked the photos taken. All the pictures of the city were empty. Empty square, empty streets, empty houses. Only one photo taken last night saw a crowd in black raincoats. And in the very corner of the frame is her own face. But with the eyes of those grey figures that looked at her in the square. Emily closed the camera, and a cold chill ran over her skin. She left, but she knew, part of her remained behind the veil of rain.